You're live.
And we're back. Thanks so much for that wonderful storytelling, Roar, from Strike Theater. The women are just really, really talented, brilliant, being vulnerable, and that is a beautiful thing right now. So we are back now with Amalia Moreno-Damgaard, who put together a fantastic panel of women in agribusiness earlier today. Thank you so much for that, Amalia. That was really great.
Hello, Carolyn. It's great to be back. Thank you.
Yeah, people were loving online. The online response to the panel was really great.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah. So we are back now with you with a cooking demo that you put together for us.
Yeah. So I want to start by saying that cooking for me is therapy. The kitchen is my happy place. And I want to give a big shout out to my pride and joy, my son, Jens Tulio Damgaard. He is my producer and technical guru. So the video that you are going to see wouldn't have been possible if I didn't have him at home. So it's been wonderful. It's been wonderful to do the video in my home because I don't get to share my home kitchen too often. So I'm going to be giving you some practical and healthy ideas to cook at home. And I would like to share some tips and demonstrate some recipes that are my family's and some of my favorites as well. They're not only delicious, but comforting and delicious. The dishes I'll be demonstrating are easily adaptable to vegan or vegetarian cooking. And they are naturally gluten-free. And in fact, a great deal of Latin cooking can be naturally or gluten-free. So with that, I will have the recipes available after the video, but I want to invite everyone to connect with me on Instagram at Amalia Moreno-Damgaard, where I share recipes, tips, and ideas daily.
That's awesome. Great. I can't wait to see it. Thanks, Amalia.
Thank you.
Hello, Rock What You Got Women's Expo friends and fans. I am Amalia Moreno-Damgaard. Welcome to my kitchen. It's so wonderful for you to be here today. This is my home. This is where I spend a great deal of time. So I am so pleased that you are here with me today because it makes me feel that I am not too alone. So today I have 2 recipes for you that you can make in 30 minutes or less. The first dish is going to be a dish that is very near and dear to my heart because it's not only easy, but it's a family recipe from my home country, Guatemala. It is called relleno de pollo, and it is a vegetable stuffing. Let's get cooking. So I'm going to start with a preheated pan, and this is canola oil. I'm going to add some to my pan, and I am going to add some onions. This can be chopped, it can be julienne, it can be any style you want. It is going to really disappear into the dish, so it really doesn't matter how you chop it or how you dice it. I have some thyme. You can use fresh or you can use dry, and 2 bay leaves. Then I am going to add some salt, a little bit of pepper. I am going to saute for a few minutes, and I am going to start adding the rest of the ingredients, and they are julienne carrots that I have lightly steamed ahead of time, but I also bought them frozen. So this is a great opportunity to use frozen vegetables if you have them in your freezer. These are green beans that were also frozen to begin with. And I cooked some potatoes, and these are you-can-go potatoes. So we are going to saute a little bit more before I proceed to add the rest of the ingredients. So this is a quick dish that you can modify in any way you want. How so? You can add other vegetables. You can substitute the vegetables. If you don't have all these vegetables at home, you can use what you have. So the trick is here that you want to use vegetables that hold well during cooking. So the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to start adding the chicken. And this is chicken that I bought already cooked. This is one of those rotisserie chickens that have a variety of uses. I happen to love them because they make your life in the kitchen so much easier. But you can also start with raw chicken, and you can cook it, you can poach it in a little bit of salted water, or you can cook it in the microwave, and then you shred it before you use it. The next ingredient is going to be tomato sauce, and this is canned crushed tomatoes. You can also use fresh tomatoes and you can put them in a blender or food processor to make them into a puree like this. And then I am going to add also some white wine vinegar that is. You can use red wine vinegar if you don't have white. I am going to adjust the seasonings again, and I am going to add pepper and then a little bit more salt. Now, when you buy the chicken already cooked, it has some seasoning in it. However, it's very mild. And you want to be careful with the seasoning, especially the salt, because you don't want to end up with a very salty dish. So picadillo takes only a few minutes, as I said, and while you are making other side dishes, if this is going to be a side, you can, at this point, leave it on the stove top while you move on to the next dish. So now I am going to make a dish that is complementary to this chicken dish that you can make also in 30 minutes or less. It happens to be one of my favorite recipes, but it's also one of my family's favorite recipes. So the way it works is we're going to do another quick saute. So we start with canola oil again, and then I'm going to start with onion and some garlic. And by the way, this garlic looks a little bit yellowish because I freeze fresh garlic. And then as I use it, I bring it out, I let it thaw on a cutting board for just a few minutes. And then I either put it on the small food processor to chop it, or I chop it by hand on the cutting board. And the next ingredients are going to be really, really easy, stuff that most people have at home. These are fresh tomatoes. If you have Roma tomatoes, or if you have vine ripened tomatoes, if you don't have fresh tomatoes, you can also use fresh tomatoes. So the other ingredient is bell peppers. So I don't know if I told you the name of the dish, but this is black rice that is made with black beans and white rice. So I added some red bell peppers. If you don't have red bell peppers, you can add green. You can add a combination of green, yellow, and red if you have them. And I just happen to like the contrast between black and red. So the next thing we are going to do, I am going to use what I call the magic ingredient, which is salt. And again, I'm going to be careful with the salt because I am going to use chicken stock. And the chicken stock already has salt. I am also going to use canned black beans. And the black beans already have salt as well. So you want to be careful with the salt as well because of that. So at this point, I am going to start adding the beans. And you want to add the juice because this is black rice. And if you want to end up with black rice, then we want to add as much juice. And actually, I'm going to add all the black beans to this recipe. And also, I am going to add the rice as well. I am going to increase the heat. And I am going to make sure that the rice is well mixed in with the rest of the ingredients. And about rice, you can use white rice. It cooks very fast. You do not need to rinse it. Prepackaged rice, you do not need to rinse because it's fortified, but it's clean. So unless you are unsure of the source of the rice, you should not rinse it. It's not necessary for cooking. Now, when you make rice, sometimes you can start with the onions and the bell peppers and the tomatoes, and then add the rice and then coat it with the oil really well before you add the other ingredients. You can do that, or you can do this. You are going to end up with a great dish, whether you do that or this. So the recipe that I make has variations, and sometimes when I am cooking at home, really I'm not following any rules but my own. And so there are as many rules to make rice as there are many rules for you in your own kitchen on how you want to modify those. And if you already know how to make rice, this is going to be a really, really easy recipe for you. So I am going to give you the recipes so that you have the ingredients with you. And you are able to purchase the ingredients or modify them. So at this point, what I'm doing is I am going to bring the liquid to a quick boil. Then I'm going to cover it, and then you put the timer for 15 minutes, and you want to wait for the rice to absorb most of the liquid, and then you're ready to go. So while that happens, we are going to come and check on this other dish, and it looks like it has reduced somehow. The chicken looks like it has absorbed the tomato, and it's smelling wonderful. So I wish you could be here to smell this dish, because this is absolutely wonderful. So you can stuff empanadas with this. You can stuff a chicken or a turkey, during the holiday season. You can also make the nice crispy rolled tacos. You can top tostadas with it, and you can make it into a side dish. This is really, really delicious. Oftentimes when I make this, I make a lot of it, and I freeze half of it, and then we consume half during dinner in different ways. So I'm going to show you what I do sometimes. So I have a tostada right here, and it is coated with a very basic avocado mash. Not guacamole, because it's not a guacamole. And when I say basic avocado mash, it's just mashed avocados with lime and a little bit of salt. And this is basic Guatemalan tostada. Now you can make it more filling by also garnishing it with some of this wonderful chicken relleno, and then we're going to garnish it with some parsley, and we're going to finish it with some red onion. Since I have the rice already made, then I am just going to show you, this is the way it looks. And I am going to add some of this wonderful hash. And then I am going to take some of this wonderful cilantro. And there it is. Buen provecho. I am going to share these recipes with you. And I am going to share them with Rock What You Got. I have many other recipes as well on my website, if you would like to visit it, at amaliallc.com. There you have it. This is what you can do with these two dishes. You can combine them in any way you want. And I hope I gave you some ideas for you to create on your own. And look forward to seeing you around.